Okay, class, this is a little extra because I just had some things that I was reading in the documents of the week that I wanted to give you feedback on directly. One of the things that I miss about just having a regular class where I'm having these conversations with you is giving you some immediate feedback. And one of the things is just sort of a ticky-tacky thing about the challenges. And one is a really important big idea that has no effect on your grade, but it has an effect on how maybe you view things. And I do care about how you view history. Okay, so the first one, the one that's not as important. A lot of you are telling me that something is reliable because it's primary. And what I would tell you is you're messing up you're mixing up all of the challenges. Your challenge is either going to be, is it reliable? Why or why not? And that will only be when I say, give me a news story. And news stories are generally reliable if they just report the facts. When I ask you if something is primary or secondary, what I'm asking is it original or has somebody else interpreted it? So it's primary because this is the actual document. These are the actual words said by the actual people. It's secondary if you say, well, this is removed. This was written by somebody else later on. That's it. Some of you are saying, oh, it's primary, so it's reliable. And I just want you to know you're mixing up two worlds. And that's not even correct anyway, because sometimes a primary document can still be an opinion. So like people wrote during the Constitutional Convention funny things about Ben Franklin because he kept falling asleep and doing rude things. And so they're writing these little snippy comments that are very much opinion, but they're a primary source that lets you know that not everybody loved Ben Franklin, or at least his behavior at that time. So don't mix those two worlds up. Someday, if somebody finds my diary, which would be weird since I don't have one, and I wrote mean things about Mr. Talbot in my diary, it would be a primary source. It would not necessarily be reliable. It's just my opinion. That makes sense? The second one is nothing to do with your grade. It has no impact on your grade, but it's just, it just feels important to me because I'm your history teacher, at least this year. And that is that many of you expressed a lot of frustration in the Declaration of Independence. And let me be very, very clear. When you are writing your opinion about something, I will never mark your opinion wrong unless it has grammatical errors, unless it has spelling errors, unless, it doesn't have the right number of sentences or something like that. Profanity, we can't do anything like that. But when I'm asking for your opinion, and I truly am asking, and I truly care and am interested, that's just part of what hopefully makes this a good class for you. And I can't tell you you're right or wrong in your opinion, but I know that a lot of you shared that you have frustration, that they said all men are created equal, and some of you said this is wrong. And what I would argue is that they are right. And I think you think and agree with me that they are right, that we are all equal. What you're really trying to say, I think, is that our government hasn't always treated everybody equal, has not lived up to those expectations. And I would agree. But it doesn't make it untrue that we should be treated as equals, that we should be treated as, because we are born with these certain natural inherent rights. Now, you are right that our forefathers, many of which, including Jefferson and Washington, owned slaves, clearly didn't, practice what they preached. You're not going to get any grief from me about this, and there's all kinds of interesting sidebars and stories that I would love to share with you whenever we get back in line, because the actions versus the ideals, it's insane, particularly with Thomas Jefferson. With that said, I would just hold out this idea for why I would still say the Declaration and the Constitution are so incredibly important. Although we have often not lived up to the ideals set forth in those documents, those ideals represent something bigger than any person. Ideals that even our forefathers knew were bigger than them. They knew that they were imperfect, but these ideals were something that we could aspire to, that we should be striving to attain and to reach. So are all mankind created equal? I think so. I think you think so. Has our government lived up to treating us as if they believe that? Not always, not always. And that's more than fair. That's my opinion anyway. And I know that's the opinion of some of you. But those ideals, oh, those are important. The ideals that we continually try, that we get closer and closer to realizing these lofty expectations that these documents put in. All right, that's just my 2 cents. I just feel like if it's anybody's job in the world to pitch that idea, it's your history teachers. So hope everybody has a great weekend and see you later.